One of the core elements of this game actually is I have for, the years of my life that I've been into video games and in video game communities, heard that story 1,000 times of the like staying up late at night playing an RPG on the PS1 or the SNES, and having that kind of change your life. And like I am 22 years old. I was not born in the era that would have been a thing that would have been part of my childhood very prominently. Like the first game console I ever owned was a Wii. And so part of the idea behind this game was trying to really grapple with that inability to fully understand the idea that people were talking about the greatest RPGs of all time. Like I have played a ton of RPGs and, I think it is no secret that this game is very inspired by Chrono Trigger. The character is literally legally distinct Chrono. But I have heard so many times in my life people describe Chrono Trigger as the greatest RPG of all time. And I, of course, really, really enjoyed it. I think it is a phenomenal game. I genuinely recommend it to friends who are looking to get into RPGs, but I can't ever like go back in time and be a kid at the time that that game released and have it blow my mind. I've grown up on games that have been influenced by Chrono Trigger and kind of taken so much of the stuff that made that game special and like built upon it or come up with new spins on it. And so, really, the idea of searching through this game and kind of uncovering what the greatest RPG of all time is, not just in terms of what literally happens in the game, but also what it meant to the people who developed it, what it meant to the kind of reception of the original game, was part of grappling with what does Chrono Trigger and these old SNES JRPGs actually mean to the people who developed them, and can I ever really understand what that was like for the people who grew up in that?
Okay, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just now finding out how old you are, so that's pretty cool. My first console, I mean, I'm around that age. My first console was an Xbox 360. I think back when it
Yeah.
first, on its
Wait, does
earlier
that mean I'm
days.
much older than both of you guys? I'm in my late 30s.
You don't look a day over 21, Stephanie. Um, no,
Xbox
but
360.
yes. So yeah, the 360 is kinda, the Wii, that era of consoles is where I was introduced to video games, and growing up and wanting to get into the classics and like that, like, it kinda, like, been the foundation of games today. I would rely on a lot of, like, forums from back then of people talking
Mm,
about video games and what they recommend and all that, and that's how I was able to get around to playing a good chunk of the Final Fantasy games, the Tales series, the Chrono Trigger, right? But a lot of them always, like to spew out, "Oh, this is the greatest RPG of all time." Actually, this is the greatest RPG of all time, and it's like a time machine, and it's me looking at a bunch of people throwing that term around, and having this game, the remake of the end of the greatest RPG of all time, kind of like, especially towards the end of the game. I won't get into spoilers, but
oh,
it
uh,
kind of it kind of revolves around that community and what they view is the quote unquote the greatest RPG of all time, and how, yeah, people just cherish that era so much. Looking back, so
yeah.